Welcome to Let's Talk Period, brought to you by Red Diamond Sisters. We're here to help you turn your cycle into strength with real talk, expert tips, and stories that remind you your period isn't a problem, your period is your power.
So welcome to Let's Talk Period with Red Diamond Sisters. I'm your host, Melanie Hudson.
And I'm Jill. Let's get right into it, Mel.
Well, today we're very, very grateful and honored to have Sorelle Cohen join us. She is the Senior Director of Development, Marketing, and Communications at the PAD Project. Sorelle is a recipient of the Beverly Hills Living Magazine 40 Under 40 inaugural class awards for her commitment to philanthropy. The PAD Project is a global nonprofit organization that expands access to menstrual care products, combats period stigma, and champions menstrual equity for everyone. So we love nonprofit organizations that empower women, that are all about period positivity. So thank you so much, Sorelle, for being here today.
Thank you for having me.
We are just thrilled. Thank you. And so tell us, how did you get involved with this at first? Give us a little background to your involvement with the PAD project.
Sure. I grew up in Los Angeles, third generation Angelino, and I went to the University of Southern California, where I studied public policy with an emphasis on nonprofit and social innovation. I was a former athlete and played competitive basketball and played competitive tennis, and then got injured, so I couldn't play basketball in college, but it was for the better because I was able to explore a lot of different types of opportunities while I was working in school. And then when I graduated, I went to work for a phenomenal nonprofit that helps kids, adults, and veterans with physical disabilities have access to sports. That's called Angel City. I was there for 2 years, and then I was looking for a new opportunity. And at the same time, the PAD Project team had just won an Oscar for their documentary, Period End of Sentence. I knew about it. It's a very small world here in LA, a few degrees of separation. The girls who started the project are about 6 years younger than me. I knew about it, but I didn't know too much about it. And then it was really just kismet and meant to be, where I was introduced to our executive director and the founders of the organization, and I was really inspired and empowered to make a difference in my own community. And I knew from that moment I wanted to get involved. So I finished my other job, and I started with the PAD Project. I was 24 years old. And I started 6 years ago, and time really does fly. So I started formally in July of 2019, and little did we know that COVID was going to hit and really change everything. But I really wanted to be part of something bigger than just working here in Los Angeles on a global stage. And the PAD Project really is a global nonprofit.
Thank you.
Wow, wonderful.
Yeah.
What kinds of things does the PAD Project do in the world?
So the PAD Project partners through a network of grassroots organizations to carry out our program. So internationally, we have pad making machines, washable cloth pad making programs, which are the reusable pads, and then menstrual cup programs, which are all coupled with education. And then in the US, we have several different programs that focus on product distribution and education.
It's fantastic.
And what has surprised you the most since you started with the PAD project?
How little adults want to speak about periods. So we know that menopause is really popular and people are talking about it, which is phenomenal, but it all starts at periods, and how, we're all different generations and we all have different approaches and different lenses and different experiences. I'm very lucky. I have a girl dad. I have two sisters and a mom. So we dominate in the household, um, women versus men. And growing up playing basketball, I had white shorts and I'd stain my shorts all the time. And I'd be so embarrassed. I'd have to leave games. I had to come back, and I didn't have period underwear. I wish, like, or bike shorts, like
Right?
none of that existed. I was miserable. I'd miss school. I had horrible, horrible cramps. Like, it was debilitating, and I didn't want to take pain medicine. Like, it was just horrible. Advil didn't work, and all of the new technology that existed. And it's wild. Like, the girls that are younger than me, in different generation, they're so open and it's amazing. And there's sometimes like a little too much like TMI, but there's a fine balance. The whole point is that we're talking about it. And we're having these conversations, but it's just, I thought when I started working at the Pad Project, Period and Descendants, it just won an Oscar. I thought more companies would want to be interested in it. After a documentary, we also wrote a book with Anita Diamond, also called Period and Descendants, a new chapter in the fight for menstrual equity that unfortunately didn't have a proper book tour because of COVID. And then we also made a second documentary called Long Line of Ladies that you can find on the New York Times OpDoc platform. That's a different approach. It's about a coming of age story when a girl gets her first period. So while our first film is all about the shame and stigma surrounding menstruation with Period and Descendants, Long Line of Ladies is a celebration of menstruation. So in my culture, we celebrate menstruation. It's my mom toasted a bottle of champagne while I was crying. I was like, "Oh my God, no, this is happening to me." She's like, "No, it's you're become a woman. Like we celebrate. Like everything's a celebration of life, and it's
Oh, that's so
exciting." And
great.
uh,
And so your culture is the Jewish, you have a
I'm
Jewish
Jewish.
background.
Yeah,
Yes.
I'm Jewish, and that's something that we do to celebrate your coming of age. Also, is my bat mitzvah, so becoming a woman at 13, at 12. And I think back to the original question, what surprised me is learning about different cultures, different customs, different traditions that families have been carrying on for years and years and centuries, honestly. And that was what was so special in making our second documentary, this one I got to produce, which was Long Line of Ladies, and having that in Judaism, we say Lador Vador, so from generation to generation. And it's so important that we're the ones who have the responsibility on our shoulders as strong women in our communities to carry on these types of traditions. And that's what the Karuk tribe, the family that you see in our film, that's what they did in their own way. So it's really important to keep these traditions alive and not just keep them dormant, but there's a lot of um, external factors for the reasons behind that. But more or less, I was surprised at how taboo periods are, but I've also been surprised at how comfortable not only I've been talking about it, but having conversations with different from people with all different experiences, and I can have like a full-on conversation about what the Pad Project is without saying the word period.
That is great.
And it's because it shouldn't deter someone from supporting our work. Just because it's like it's an over there problem. Well, it's not. It's an over here problem. It's really
Mhm.
prevalent in the United States. I did not know to the extent to which it is prevalent in the United States, but think about it. If you're on food stamps, you're not affording a $20 box of tampons. There was a study commissioned in 2023 by Period Movement, and they said that 1 in 4 students miss school. So it's definitely like it's not a direct, people aren't telling them like, oh, I'm not missing, I'm can't afford products. They're not openly sharing that, but they are, attendance rates um, have been lowered. And there's a lot of factors at play.
Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah, I
Uh,
know that you have actual period distribution at several different countries. That must be so rewarding to see bins that are, pad projects. Tell us about how the energy, or tell us about that experience dealing with other countries and just kind of being more open about your period. Did they embrace that, or did it take a while to warm up to that, for instance?
A lot of the partners have been working in the menstrual equity space for many, many, many years. We're kind of the new kids on the block
Mm,
who showed up one day and ended up winning an Oscar. This wasn't so
mhm.
new. Keep in mind, the Pad Project was created where I'm sitting now out of the Feminist Majority Foundation through their program Girls Learn International. Things do not happen overnight. This was 8 years, full years in the making, in partnering with the Community Action India that you see in the film. They're one of the longest standing sexual violence nonprofits in India. So they've been
Mm,
working in this space for a very long time, since the 70s. And it was through their knowledge and trust and relationship that the film was able to be created. So, like I said, nothing happens overnight.
yeah.
And it really takes the trust and the leaders of the community. That's why it's so key. We don't just walk into a community, we're partnering with grassroots NGOs on the ground who just need the extra financial and support that we give through knowledge of starting up a pad machine business, because it is a business. So it's definitely the social entrepreneurs working already in their space who are looking to fill the need. There's products that exist in these countries, but it's not made, and it's still very difficult to, the last mile, not just getting from the store. They don't live near a store. You can just like Uber Eats something. It's a very different mindset. Many of these nonprofit partners create their own brands. So the one in our documentary, their product brand is called Fly. So it's important that they have like ownership of their own name, and they're really excited to expand their programs. And a few of our partners have expanded into menstrual cups, which is something new. We're lucky we have a great brand called Asan Cups that we've been partnering with. So we're able to work and expand menstrual cup as a product choice option. We really want to provide as much product choice as possible. So we're not pushing one thing over the other. So we definitely take a holistic approach to how we work with partners. I wish we could have more partners, but that's a funding issue. So we're scaling back on not a negative way for who we're partnering with, but right now we work in 12 different countries, and we have our partners that we've been working with. So we haven't added new partners in a very long time.
What an incredible organization. I must say that the movie, period, end of sentence, really is a must see for everyone because it really gives us an idea of what is going on in the world. I mean, we in America are so privileged. And I have a question regarding the pad machine. Are there any organizations in the United States or women entrepreneurs who are actually creating their own pads for their community in the United States with the pad
So
machine?
that's not a issue in the United States the same way that it is internationally. So the pad
Mhm.
machine business model doesn't work. We are partnered with a wonderful woman based in Boston who created pads on a roll. So having toilet paper, it's called eGal.
Oh, wow.
Having toilet paper, she's very innovative. We've partnered with her a few times in the US. So it's not a machine, it's like I said, it's the pads on a roll. The pad making machines, the manufacturer, they're based in India. We've had a lot of trouble getting machines to different countries. We've only been successful with 2 machines in Kenya, and the pad making machine manufacturer is no longer in business. So it's really not the viable option. But in the United States, the issue isn't manufacturing the product. We have a surplus of products. It's the access and the cost.
Mm.
This is more philosophical. What do you think the reason is that menstruation is such a taboo topic?
I mean, that goes back many, many years, and patriarchy and having these conversations and being in control. The women stay at home and work, and the men are out. And that's in different cultures. It's very different for everybody. But I think it's nice to know that there's a new wave and a new, resurgence of having these conversations. And with any of these types of answers about, history, it's like years and years before my time of experiences and lived experiences from different people. But I think we're heading in the right direction of talking. I mean, there's a lot of organizations like the Path Project that have existed, before us, and now we're one of them. And like organizations like yourselves who are, having these conversations are really important.
I know
Right.
that you have a big gala coming up I know that you've been working very hard. Tell us a little bit about that and tell us, how the community can get involved with this and what you're doing to bring it all together.
Definitely. So the gala is our biggest, and actually, this is our second in-person fundraiser event of the year. We do it in honor of International Day of the Girl. Our gala will take place on Tuesday, October 14th, with our theme, Embrace the Cycle. And it's a chance we're leaning in to the work that we do. Last year was our 5th anniversary of the Oscar win for Period and a Sentence. So the theme last year was the Red Carpet Gala. This year, like I said, it's Embrace the Cycle.
Yeah.
It's a chance for our donors and supporters to come together. We will be honoring our partner in India, Sumarth, who works on our pad making machine and menstrual cup program. And then in the US specifically, we recently in Los Angeles dealt with the wildfire relief. So we're honoring students that we work with in the Pacific Palisades, who also work in Pasadena as well. And then we're having a phenomenal mother-daughter duo, Catherine Hahn and her daughter May, who's very involved with the PAD project at our student club, be our MCs for the evening. And this is a chance where individuals and donors will learn about our programs, and we'll share how you can continue support. But this is our biggest fundraiser of the year. So I've been busy planning since last January, and we're excited for our event next month.
I'm excited. I'm planning to attend.
Me
I
too.
haven't
Yes.
bought my ticket yet, but I'm definitely going.
Amazing.
I have one final question. I just was wondering what do you find most satisfying for your job? You've been there for a couple years now. What motivates you and keeps this moving forward with you with the PAD project?
I think it's so important to be part of something bigger than myself, specifically helping women and girls. Charitable dollars for women and girls in the US is under 1.9% of all charitable giving. So really, we are not even at having a seat at the table. And I'm really passionate about supporting women and girls. And I really want to make sure that that period poverty is no longer an issue. So working really hard with our team. We have a really dedicated small staff, but we have 4 staff members. Every day, it just really excites me to know that our work makes a difference. And it's really important to also be part of something and be part of a group and be part of a team. And just love to know that what I'm doing makes a difference. It's really rewarding. It's really tough and challenging work to get no's all the time, but it's the best is when you get those yes answers and bring people towards us and introduce new people. And what's the best thing, I've been here for 6 years, is the community and the relationships I've built with our donors, with our supporters, our board members. I say once you start with the PAD project, you don't leave, in a good way. People get really invested and support however they can. And all of the support really makes a difference. And it's not just a monetary support. Time really goes a long way. And we are still a very small nonprofit. I like being part of this startup type culture and really being part of being at the grassroots and building something instead of just being a cog in the wheel and not really having a say. Like, I'm very empowered to use my voice to make decisions with the support of the board and my fellow colleagues. And it's something that I really, really enjoy doing every day, and being a leader and helping women and girls where I can.
Starts
Wow.
with yes. Thank
Fantastic.
you.
Oh my gosh. We love you. We
Starts
need
with
more
yes.
women like you. You're
Yes.
fantastic.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you.
How can someone get in touch with you or the PAD project to volunteer or donate or support?
The best way to engage with us is to sign up for our newsletter, and we are very active on social media. So all likes, comments, and follows really help. We're mostly on Instagram. So any help to raise awareness about period poverty really goes a long difference. And the best and free thing to do is to spread awareness about our work by watching our documentaries, Period End of Sentence, Long Line of Ladies, or by reading our book, also called Period End of Sentence. And then checking out our website and reaching out to us at info@thepadproject.org, or you can reach out to me directly if you have any questions. But the best way is through our newsletter and social media.
Thank you.
Wow, wonderful.
Yeah.
Well, Sorelle, this has been incredibly informative, very enjoyable. I love your energy. You've given us so much information to
Yes.
digest and work on. And thank you for everything that you're doing and that the PAD project is doing. And Jill, it sounds like you're going to go to the gala too. So we'll see you in October.
Yeah.
We'll leave with it starts with yes. It starts with you. And thank you for the PAD project. Yes, it starts with yes. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Sorelle.
Thank you both. It was a pleasure speaking to you both now twice. So yeah.
Yay.
Okay.
And thank you everyone for joining. Let's talk period.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye.